swirl all the changes. Daytona Beach, Florida, the original home of stock car racing. When you gaze out at the famed beach here, you cannot help but feel the never-ending rhythm of the Atlantic Ocean. But a few miles to the west, there beats a different rhythm. The Daytona International Speedway, which this week is pulsating to the sounds of powerful, throaty engines, waiting to be unleashed as the 2007 NASCAR season roars into view. The quest is about to begin with the final Busch Series practice session.
Yes, Brent, the practice in the quest is about to begin today with a 5-mile cruise around the Daytona International Speedway. Coming to the green flag, you want to be... This is one of the 2 restricted tracks in the NASCAR Winston Cup circuit that have the restricted engine package, so this means drivers will be racing wide open all the way around for their qualifying lap. Coming down turn 2, you want to keep... Typically, some drivers use their first lap as a throwaway lap because you're building up momentum to get to the green flag. Everybody always worries about that second money lap. At this facility here, and when they qualify at Daytona and Talladega, everybody always wants that second money lap because that's what puts you on the front row. Like right here, Dylan Murway's start was third on that first lap. So this means he will be outside front row for his for the first duel race as he heads down off turn 2. Down the backstretch, he's tracking a little faster. He's definitely much faster. He's carrying more speed. He's keeping the car on the bottom lane. I lost a little bit there. And back out to turn the wall. This will put him on the pole for the Daytona 500. How about that? Let's go to the Gatorade 125, aka the last chance for any of these drivers to improve a starting position, or if you're one of the underfunded guys, your last chance to get to the big show. So the rules for this race, the Gatorade 125s determine the starting positions for the Daytona 500. This first race will determine the inside row, and the second race after this will determine the outside row. While the front row for the Daytona 500 is already locked in, and it is based off of qualifying time alone, not the twin races. Unless one of the drivers in the twin races happens to wreck, then the inside row moves up.
Well, here's the starting lineup. In the front row are the 64 car and the Singular Wireless Chevrolet. In the second row are the Pfizer Ford and the Pennzoil Chevrolet. Starting the race from row 3 are the Dale Jr. Chevrolet and the 21 car. The fourth row has the M&M's Ford and the UAW Delphi Chevrolet. Starting the race from row 5 will be the Sterling Marlin Dodge and the Citgo Ford. In row 6 we have the 88 car and the U.S. Army Pontiac. Starting from row 7 will be the Valvoline Pontiac and the 57 car. In the 8th row are the 02 car and the Granger Ford. In the 9th row, we have the Georgia Pacific Dodge and the Dodge Dealers UAW Dodge. In the 10th row are the America Online Chevrolet and the BAM Racing Dodge. And rounding Rounding out the field is the Kellogg Chevrolet and the 37 car.
As your starting lineup for Gatorade Dual Race number 1, Dylan Murway, Robbie Gordon will bring the field down for the start of this race. 12-lap sprint. Green flag. We're racing at Daytona. Wow, look at that. The outside lane has no form of momentum as Dylan Murway is already trying to block the 8 of Dale Earnhardt Jr. And I thought the first dual race is typically tame. You wouldn't know that. You wouldn't know that from the way these guys are racing. Oh, Jr. kind of got the wall off 4. Here comes Robbie Gordon coming back. And here comes Dylan. He will lead the first lap at Daytona. Robbie Gordon looking up top. Whoa, big move there. Here comes Dylan Murway. Does he pick up the 6 of Mark Martin? Nope, looks like Martin falls back. He's going to probably fall to the bumper of the 38. But out front is Dylan Murway. He is controlling the way here at Daytona. Comes to block Robbie Gordon. Comes down to block Mark Martin. Everybody pins him as a driver to be up front a lot this season. Everybody also pins him as a driver to maybe make the championship 4. You see what Dylan's doing while the fan at home sitting watching it, like he's going to get himself killed and get himself turned around. This is what drivers have to do. They need to pick up that energy and try to have multiple of the same manufacturer behind them. You saw on the inside for a little while, it was three Chevrolets or 4 Chevrolets, Dylan Murway, Robbie Gordon, Dale Jr., and the 1 car, Jeff Green, on the outside. On the inside, it was 3 Fords with Mark Martin, Elliott Sadler, and Dale Jarrett making moves. Now the field's disorganized. Dylan comes down, makes a big block with Mark Martin, who in turn blocks the 8 of Earnhardt Jr. You see, these are the moves that drivers have to make. You got to block high, you got to block low, you got to pick up that energy. And that, if that energy means here that the fast line's on the bottom, you pick them up. Wow. Mark Martin out here breaking ankles. But if the bottom lane's picking up momentum, you go to the bottom. You see the 8 of Earnhardt Jr., he's looking to be strong here in the 500. Dylan didn't pick up the lane in time with Mark Martin, but he has some push from the 8. Dylan barely led that lap. And Mark Martin gets pushed to the front. Now this time Mark Martin is going to try to pick up the energy of which line's going. Until it looks like Dylan Murway and Mark Martin are going to the top side. As Dylan kind of kissed the wall off turn 4. And right there, you saw how far back that can be a detriment to these drivers. If you get out too far, You'll be picked up pretty quickly by the pack as you see the 9 of Bill Elliott trying to go to the inside. And Mark Martin losing any help he had. He backs up to Junior. Dillon goes way to the outside, lets Robbie Gordon in. And let's go on board. Oh, Robbie Gordon. Oh, into the wall. Dillon gets ran into the wall by the 31 of Robbie Gordon. Here comes Jerry Nadeau to take the lead. That really killed the momentum of that pack, of the lead pack coming up. Now that really broke them up into two groups. Here, as we've reached the halfway point in this race, you got one car coming to pit road with probably a blown motor by the looks of it.
You're losing ground on the leaders. Just 5 to go.
5 laps to go in the Gatorade 125s. And this is what Robbie Gordon had to say a few months ago after that big moment. 64 car is a dumbass for trying to ride on my damn quarter panel, trying to side suck me back. Almost put us in the wall. I don't know. Just focus forward, bud. Focus forward. Robbie, you're doing good. I mean, seriously, we're halfway through the race. He hangs on my damn door, nearly turns us me right in front of the field. I don't know how it wasn't a wreck there. You already tell Dillon's plan is just draft with Robbie Gordon. And this is Dillon's radio just a few moments ago after Robbie Gordon's small explosive rant. Man, get with Robbie's spotter. Tell him I'm sorry. I'll push him to the front if he wants. Yep, keep doing what you're doing. You kind of got the wall a little bit. You got hit in the ass by Mark Martin. Other than that, you're doing good. And meanwhile, out front, Robbie Gordon gets pushed up front to the lead. Jerry Nadeau almost turns Dillon Murway as Dillon forced his way in the line. 3 laps to go in the Gatorade 125s. Robbie Gordon, Dillon Murway, Jerry Nadeau, Ricky Rudd, and Terry Lamani are the top 5. Remember, Dillon Murway does have restrictor plate information from Richard Childress. Remember, Dillon is owner-driver of this team. He actually sat down with Richard on how to improve his cars for these restrictor plate tracks. And he inadvertently ended up partnering with DEI. And I think we're definitely seeing that play into fruition here with 2 laps to go.
Just hold your line. He's starting to feel comfortable racing with you.
You can also see how the benefits of drafting 2. These 2 cars are much faster than the rest of the pack. Dillon and Robbie Gordon are actually topping 190 going into turn 3. They have probably 3 seconds on the rest of the field at the very least. And Dillon Murway just got to halfway on fuel while everybody else is probably at a quarter of a tank of gas as the white flag waves here at Daytona. Yeah. Oh, Dillon got the wall again. He tried getting that momentum going. Maybe try to close up on Robbie. As they head through 3 and 4, will Dillon go for it? He looks high. Does he have the momentum? Coming to turn 4. Last-ditch effort. Dylan has a run. Coming to the line. It will be Robbie Gordon. Barely got him at the line. By 1/1000th of a second. Couldn't time the pass.
Single caution lap was running the whole race.
Well, that's good news for all these
Quick
race
enough.
teams because that can mean one thing: no major wrecks.
The 64 car will only get bonus points instead of a victory. He led the most laps in this one.
Yeah, he just didn't lead the most important one. The lap where the checkered flag came out.
The 64 car did run well with Robbie Gordon.
Relationships with other drivers are important in NASCAR Winston Cup Series. It can make you or break you.
How about that? Great finish. Look at how close this is. So we'll look at the finish. That was after Dylan got in the wall and got hit by Bill Elliott. By the way, the cars that fell out of the race are Hermie Sadler and David Green. Look at this. If you think that finish was close between me and Robbie Gordon, wait till you see 50 laps in the Daytona 500.
Well, here we are at the Great American Race, the Daytona 500, the NASCAR Winston Cup Series premier event. This is Joe Moore, and I'm with Barney Hall to bring you live flag-to-flag coverage on MRN. To win a race is something pretty special at any track. But to win here at Daytona, you're that much closer to becoming a legend in the sport.
Well, you're right. To have your name mentioned as a former winner here at Daytona puts you on a list with some drivers that these guys have admired since they were kids.
The 64 car can count on a couple of the drivers out there to treat him well, especially Robbie Gordon.
A driver's attitude towards you can drastically change how he races you. And when a driver gets along well with you, just makes things a whole lot easier when you come across them on the racetrack.
Michael Waltrip won the 2001 Daytona 500, his first career win and his 463rd start.
He was pushed to the finish line by Dale Jr. in that race, and he repaid the favor later that year, helping Jr. win his first race at Daytona in the Pepsi 400.
Jerry Nadeau is one of those guys who you just keep expecting to break out and have a good year.
Yeah, you do, but he's got a ton of talent and some good equipment. He's shown he can win and run up front. Now he's just got to string some success together and gain some confidence out there.
Gentlemen, start your engine.
Now, let's take a look at the starting lineup.
Starting out front are the 64 car and the 15 car. Starting in row 2 will be the Singular Wireless Chevrolet and the Team Rusty Dodge. In row 3 are the Motorcraft Ford and the Tide Pontiac. In row 4 are the Kellogg Chevrolet and the GM Goodrich Chevrolet. Rounding out the top 10 starting spots are the U.S. Army Pontiac and the DeWalt Power Tools Ford. The 6th row has the Citgo Ford and the Rubbermaid Sharpie Ford. In row 7 are the Pfizer Ford and the Lowe Chevrolet. Starting the race from row 8 are the M&M's Ford and the Stacker 2 Dodge. And in row 9 are the Dodge dealers UAW Dodge and the Alltel Dodge. Starting in row 10 will be the America Online Chevrolet and the Dodge dealers UAW Dodge. In row 11 are the UPS Ford and the Hamilton Dodge. In row 12 are the 25 car and the Caterpillar Dodge. Row 13 finds the Valvoline Pontiac and the Hooters Ford. The 14th row has the Pennzoil Chevrolet and the Interstate Battery Chevrolet. In row 15 are the Dale Jr. Chevrolet and the Net Zero Pontiac. Starting the race from row 16 are the BAM Racing Dodge and the Kodak Max Film Pontiac. Row 17 has the Georgia Pacific Dodge and the Target Dodge. Starting in row 18 will be the 57 car and the 27 car. In row 19 are the Granger Ford and the 43 car. In row 20 are the 37 car and the DuPont Chevrolet. Back in row 21, we have the O2 car and the Home Depot Chevrolet. And rounding out the field is the 40 car.
Wow. A lot of big names starting towards the rear of the field in this one. Earnhardt Jr. starting 29th. Jeff Gordon starting 40th. Tony Stewart 42nd. And you got Sterling Marlin starting last. Oh boy. And Gordon and Tony aren't really the best of friends. So it'll be interesting to see if those two work together to get to the front here in this one. 50 laps on tap today in the Daytona 500. Dylan Murway, Michael Waltrip on the front row. Let's go racing. Boogity, boogity, boogity. Let's go racing, boys. Takes a full lap for these drivers to get up to full song here. Here as Dylan Murway comes to throw a block. Kind of mistimed that one there. It'll be interesting to see how these fuel cells will handle in a race longer than 17 and then 15 laps. How far will these guys able to go? You see there, we're already at 13 gallons of fuel in these fuel cells at the restrictor plate tracks, so I predict multiple green flag stops in this race. And how about Terry Labonte up there in the third spot? Dylan Murway will surrender the lead to the 15 of Waltrip. Gets up behind him. You can see how fast and the beneficiary of two cars drafting together versus the rest of the pack is. You already see, looks like Ricky Rudd leading the group behind. But out front, Dylan Murway has pushed Michael Waltrip to a solid 2-second lead. And he was a great pusher in the 125 race. Just didn't quite time the pass early enough to take the win from Robbie Gordon.
Dig, buddy, dig, dig, dig. Leader's right in front of you. You two are starting to race well together.
Going through 1 and 2 on the high side, Dylan Murway, Michael Waltrip drafting together. The benefits of the draft, again, you'll save a lot more fuel by doing this kind of racing. You see Dylan gluing himself to the back bumper of the 15. You already see a second group already forming in the back away from this lead group. So you got three groups. You got Michael Waltrip and Dylan Murway leading this race. Basically, Dylan is doing an early invention of the two-car tandem. This is what he's doing. And then you got the group behind. And then you got the group at the back of the field. Michael Waltrip has the early lead here in the Daytona 500. Dylan Murway I guess he's trying to follow him, maybe save a little bit of fuel. And after all this pushing, wow, he pushed Dylan Murway and Michael Waltrip were pushed out to a 3-second lead here. And looks like Dylan can't quite clear Mikey. Here comes Dylan closing onto the bumper of the left side of 15, and it looks like Dylan will have the lead in turn 1. So 7 laps are complete. The Daytona 500. It's going to be interesting to see how pit strategy can play out with these smaller fuel cells. And you can see the downside of being out front in those separate packs. Pushing the guy out and leaving him by himself is Ricky Rudd and Kevin Harvick have already eaten into that 3-second lead by a full second. It may not be much, but I guarantee you probably by about 5 laps or so, they'll be right all over Dylan Murway and Michael Waltrip. And they eat into his lead a bit more. This time, Kevin Harvick viewing into that lead. Got a push from the 97 of Kurt Busch and the Rubbermaid Ford. You already see the pack is starting to break apart. You got 2 Fords leading that second group, and they're already catching up to Michael Waltrip and Dylan Murway. And you already see the 21 getting to the bumper. There's Nadu trying to make a third lane in 5th, making up some time. But now Dylan Murway is controlling the line. And he who controls the lanes of traffic is going to be the one who wins this race. Mistime a block, there's going to be a wreck. Or you'll get freight. There's either going to be a wreck or you'll get freight train. Dylan goes downstairs on Mikey. There's Rudd getting a push from the 12 of Newman on the inside. You can add Ricky Rudd to the second spot. Dylan Murway, he mistimed that block like it was nothing. Like it wasn't even there. And looks like Dylan, will he get help from Mikey? Just squeezes down in front of him as Ricky Rudd is your new leader in the Daytona 500. Ryan Newman promoting the Sony Wega brand of phone under Altel for this race. Looks like Newman can't quite get by Ricky Rudd. Dylan is closing on that 12 car. So far, it can't quite. Seems like they're there. Newman tried to look under Ricky Rudd, but can't quite clear the pass. Car blowing up on the apron. That is Bobby Labonte. We do stay green. And Dylan Murway all the way to the back bumper of Ricky Rudd this time. How about a little good old-fashioned crank it up?
That was your best lap of the day. Work with the leader. Let's see if we can break away from the pack. Your right front's wearing down.
Sorry, catch.
Keep an eye on it.
Ricky Rudd is your leader, followed by Dylan Murway, Jimmy Johnson, Matt Kenseth, and Ryan Newman. Matt Kenseth has fallen through that feat. Ryan Newman fell from nearly leading the 500 a few moments ago to almost outside the top 5.
Let's keep it that way.
You've ran the first stage of this race caution-free. Here are the first 14 laps, probably 15 here at the line, or 15 now.
Catching up to the leader. Keep on it. Don't forget, he's one of the good guys.
And here's Dylan Murway still pushing Ricky Rudd to out front here in the Daytona 500. The pack is pretty much doing whatever it's doing. It's dividing itself into really small, tiny groups. And Dylan Murway's just biding his time driving behind that 21 car. Ooh. Dylan had to get out of the gas because he didn't want to wreck Ricky Rudd in turn 1. So he gets out. Looks like it'll be interesting to see how many cars come to pit road this time around, or maybe even next time. Dylan's already low on gas. We're about to see our first big test of green flag pit stops with these smaller fuel cells. Possibly. We'll possibly see a test of a green flag pit stop with these fuel cells, unless everybody's going to do the run out of fuel thing that they did in the shootout, where everybody ran out of fuel on the apron, and that led to a huge crash. There's Dylan Murway. Can he clear Ricky Rudd? Nope. He tried passing him, but it looks like he's going to fall back in line. As Dylan Murway tries to maybe stay behind Ricky Rudd as much as he can, maybe save some fuel. In fact, they're already doing a good job of that. We'll probably see green flag pit stops next 2 laps or so. 2 or 3 at least. Dylan with a big draft underneath. Looks like he might get the lead here in turn 1. Dylan, can he clear Ricky Rudd? He will. New leader in the Daytona 500. And Dylan couldn't quite block Ricky Rudd quick enough, but somehow they're holding pretty even going down the back. Now he clears him. Drivers are coming into pit road now for green flag stops. And it looks like a pretty big group of cars as well. Dylan Murway will probably let Ricky Rudd go. And Rudd will pit as well. Green flag pit stops taking shape here in the Daytona 500.
Let's get a new left rear tire. The 29 car is up on. Drop back to forward.
Drivers beginning their first round of green flag stops. As they head in, Ricky Rudd comes out. And they're back in the race. That was the first round of green flag pit stops this season. Michael Waltrip drafting with Bill Elliott, and coming out of turn 2, looks like Dylan will fall in line. possibly. The leader, as it stands, is the 6 of Mark Martin. Looking through the rest of the pack, Harvick led a lap. Ricky Rudd has led 8. Waltrip has led 5 laps today. Dylan Murray has led 6 laps today. And everybody from Sterling Marlin on back is 1 lap down. Bobby Labonte fell out of the race early with a blown motor. So while that's going on, we'll go ahead and continue to ride around with Mark Martin on pit road. Mark Martin has never won historically at Daytona, but he has come close in the past. Hopefully his luck will change today.
Number 5 is inside. He made it in the top half of the field. Okay, we're clear. Number 99, down low. The 99 cars all over your back bumper. You're clear.
.22 laps complete, heading into lap 23 in the Daytona 500. Cars are coming out of pit road. Johnny Benson this time is out of pit lane. There's a couple more cars down there as well. Looks like Dylan Murray is going to probably let draft with Jeff Burton, maybe work with him to get to the front. Dylan Murray drafting with Burton. Hopefully it keeps Martin out of there. Flies by Mark Martin like it was nothing.
That's a quick one, buddy. Keep it up. We're about 7 seconds off the leader's back bumper.
The 99 car is up high. Number 99 is coming high.
Looks like the field is going to be joining together in the next couple laps shortly. So down the backstretch, 24 laps complete in the Daytona 500. We're working lap 24 now. And Ricky Rudd back out front. Bobby Labonte is on pit road. He was the car that blew a motor.
48.57.
That one was quick. Let's do it again.
Dylan trying to draft with Rudd or Martin. Get a draft from Martin. Maybe a push or two would help. And definitely be nice because so far his momentum's not really carrying forward. Midway in the Daytona 500, Dylan Murray riding along pretty solidly in 11th. We'll probably see pit stops in the next 10 or 15 laps, or the last ones of the day, because we've ran this race caution-free up to this point. And many people are hoping it stays that way. And looks like Dylan might be dropping back. Oh no, he's still holding his line. Couldn't quite muster the power to get to Martin or get by the 64.
Number 99 is coming high.
Or can't quite get the power anyway. He's leaving the top line open. Going, hitting the brakes, checking up a little bit. And he's going to maybe try to get by Martin. He's going to drag the brakes in front of Burton. And wow, Martin got by him a little tight there. Really odd decision to do that, but anything maybe get a push to the front. Any momentum going for Mark Martin. Well, he's trying to push, but his damage is capped out at like speed is capped out at like 190 to try to get Martin up into the top 10. Both of these cars into the top 10.
I think he's starting to warm up to us.
He was trying to push. He definitely caught up to Mikey there. And unclear what they might be doing. Could they be pitting? Or maybe Martin just wanted to go. They just wanted to go to the bottom. It's like more green flag pit stops. This time, Rusty Wallace, Bill Elliott, and I believe Michael Waltrip are down pit road. Dylan with a big shove to that 6 car, trying to maybe get him to the bottom. Or a push to get to the bottom at least. We ran the first 30 laps caution-free, which should tell you everything we need to know about what these drivers can expect this season as we have reached the 20-lap to go mark. Here at Daytona. 60% of this race has been completed. Dylan is basically shoving Mark Martin for all he's worth. Oh, kind of knocked Mark Martin out of the way there to take 8th. Bit of an aggressive move there.
Okay, buddy, we're faster than the leader. Let's get out there. The leader's put about 5 seconds on you.
Somehow we haven't had a yellow all day, which is very impressive for the way this race has gone. But to be fair, last year we had nearly the same situation where we ran the entire race caution-free until the last couple laps, which ended under caution and had Sterling Marlin go to victory lane in that one. By the way, Ricky Rudd is still dominating this race. Up front, Ricky Craven and Jimmy Johnson battling for 6th. See those two up ahead. Jeff Burton closing in. Here in the Daytona 500, field is closing back up. Dylan Murray looked like he was trying to catch up for Craven, but he's letting Burton come to him. Definitely an interesting race so far up to this point. We've ran it basically caution-free, as it has been the Ricky Rudd Show at Daytona with Ryan Newman and Kevin Harvick being co-hosts. Newman and Rudd have worked together pretty much all of this race so far, and the only way anything can happen is if they try pit strategy or cars start running out of fuel or we get a caution. Dylan Murray closing up to Ricky Craven. He's battling pretty hard with the lap car, Terry Labonte. He's been battling pretty hard the past couple laps with him.
Making up some time. Okay, time to go. The leader is about 6 seconds ahead.
Here's Ward Burton. He gave Dylan a solid push. Pretty big push as well. And is able to get him by the 5 of Terry Labonte.
That speed will get us to the front. Keep it up.
And here's Dylan Murray trying to draft a little bit off of Craven, maybe side draft. Dylan throws a block on Ward Burton. And here comes Dylan Murray. Looks like they may be getting ready for final pit stops of the day. Ooh, Craven almost went to pit road, got loose there. He sucks to the back of the 32. 48-16. Looks like 13 to go in the Daytona 500. Dylan Murray basically trying to give Ricky Craven all the pushing in the world that he can. And that 32 Pontiac, which was a Ford last season.
He's working with you, so give him some room.
I'm going to save as much fuel as he can, because I'm feeling this might go caution-free to the end. Last time we had a caution-free race was Talladega in the fall of 2002. That race was obviously won by Dale Earnhardt Jr., who is nowhere to be seen in this group. Ryan Newman, by the way, has taken the lead in the Daytona 500 in his sophomore season.
Someone we can trust out there.
Dylan Roy is all over that 32 car. Basically shoving him to as far as he can. And I think we might see drivers pit here with 10 to go. Craven to pit road. That begins final pit stops of the day. That closed in by a couple seconds with Dylan pushing Craven all he can. Coming down the back stretch, 11 to go. At this point, 90% of these guys are running qualifying laps. Here they come, final pit stops of the day.
Someone got by you. Let's go after it. Okay, we're clear.
Here we go. Final stop of the afternoon.
Only 10 laps left.
Two right side tires for Dylan Merwa. Could be a power play here for that team. Coming out of pit road. Kurt Busch is the race leader. Dylan has come up in line. Here's Kevin LePage getting onto that 64. This two-tire call might actually work, believe it or not. We'll see how the rest of this plays out. Leaders are coming to pit road. Dylan Merway flying by the field now. Harvick getting up to speed. The 29. Ooh, Dylan, wow. Through kind of a sus block there. And Dylan's closing to the back of Newman.
He's willing to work with you as long as you stay on his way. Lead cars are busy.
These are the last of the leaders coming to pit road. Dylan Merway trying to push Newman to the front. Give him as much of a push as he can. We could have a battle between youngsters for the Daytona 500. Dylan Merway, Kurt Busch, and Ryan Newman. Rocket Man here at Daytona. The leader is by himself in turn 2. He has not pit. The rest of these cars have. Dylan drops low. Can he pick up Kurt Busch?
Still beside you. Number 12 is still there. You're running third. All right.
Skinner to pit road. Dylan Murway has been he's been an excellent pusher this entire race. Could this be the move that he needs? As Dylan pushes Kurt Busch all the way by Mike Skinner on pit road. Open track in front of Kurt. LePage gets back on pit road. Off of pit road. There's 6 to go. Losing my voice. Much drier than the Sahara Desert. Anyway, 6 to go. In the line, it'll be 5 laps to go. 5 to go this time. 5 to go this time. We are at the red flag lap. If a caution were to come out now, this race would be official. Kurt Busch has basically shoved Dylan Murway out front. The winner, remember, the winner, if you win, you are in the playoffs. So bet you Dylan's going to play the strategy of save as much of his car as he can and wait till the last lap to try to get by Kurt Busch. Question is, how much is too much saving? Because you can't just lay back forever, because eventually Kurt will just go right by, will just get away from you. 4 to go. This could get good. Here, Kurt Busch is being held up by David Green. Kurt to the inside. Will he get by him? No, he gets in line. I don't know why he's doing that. Getting to the line, 3 to go. Question is, Kurt seems better off turn 4, but Dylan always closes off of each of the corners. Here comes Dylan to the lead. Will he get rid of David Green? Looks like he's going to back off. Doesn't want to save his stuff too early. Dylan Murway letting Kurt Busch up into the line. Dylan looks like he's going to save his plan. It just came from his spotter, Eddie DeHaan. Save your stuff to the last corner, because that's when most of these finishes happen. Is drivers try to stay behind their drafting partner, which in this case would be Kurt Busch, to the last corner, and then they go for it coming to the line. Question is, I think Dylan may have worn out his tires too much to try and do that. Kurt Busch can't quite get by the 37 for some reason. Coming out of turn 4. The white flag waves in the Daytona 500 one more time around. Kurt Busch can't seem to move out behind David Green. He's going to basically push Kurt Busch, or they're both going to wreck. Kurt to the inside, contact. Somehow they didn't crash. Into turn 3 for one final time. Out of turn 4. Could Dylan get it? As they come to the line. 5 years ago, he was stocking supermarkets. today, Kurt Busch is a Daytona 500 champion.
Not a single caution lap was run in the whole race.
You know, that's pretty amazing. It says a lot about the quality and true talent of these NASCAR Winston Cup drivers.
The 64 car never even got a scratch in this race.
You know, these NASCAR Winston Cup race teams absolutely love drivers who take care of their cars. Makes their jobs a whole lot easier when they aren't having to spend extra hours in the body shop each week.
The 64 car got along well on the track with the 21 car.
Yeah, it's good to see drivers work together out there, even when they aren't teammates.
This has been an MRN broadcast of live NASCAR Winston Cup racing. Until next time, so long, and have a great day.
Dylan tried to maybe time his pass a bit too early off the 2 and couldn't quite do it. Just couldn't clear him. What a finish here in the Daytona 500. So Kurt Busch is already through to the NASCAR playoffs with his win today. So Kurt Busch wins the Daytona 500. Dylan Murray finishes second. Jimmy Johnson finishes third. Matt Kenseth fourth. Kevin Harvick fifth. Ryan Newman sixth. Ricky Rudd seventh. Tony Stewart eighth. Dale Jarrett ninth. And Rusty Walls ran out the top 10. What a run, though, to the finish. Between these two drivers. So let's take a look at how things played out. Rusty Wallace ends up 10th. Earnhardt Jr. rebounded to 17th. Sterling Marlin, 19th. Jeff Gordon, 24th. And looking to the rest of the field. Mayfield, 30th. Robbie Gordon, 33rd after starting 3rd. Wow. Bobby Labonte, all the way in the cellar, 43rd. So Kurt Busch is already through to the playoffs. Got a lot of friends from this race, which these are very helpful at restrictor plate tracks. All the friends you get. So awards, Dylan Murray won the pole and was the rookie of the race. Ricky Rudd led the most laps. Tony Stewart got the new Picking Up Places award. Bobby Labonte had the fastest lap, and Ward Burton made the best pass. Rookie of the year, Dylan Murray leads over Jamie McMurray. One pole this season for Dylan, and Ford has a 3-point lead over Chevrolet in the manufacturer's standings. Ricky Rudd led 21 laps. He is the leader of the EA Sports Lap Champion Award. See you next time when we go to Vegas.